Hello friends, welcome to this video. In this video, we'll be discussing the previous year questions of SO exam for the year 2019-2020. In this video, we'll be covering around 20 questions from question number 41 to question number 60. The questions are from topics like FRSR, pension, and some miscellaneous topics. Let's start the video. Question number 41 says, consider the following statements regarding admissibility of DNS allowance to a government servant. So this question has been asked from multiple sources. Statement 1 says DA may be drawn during study leave based on leave salary sanctioned during such leave. So this is true. If you will see the leave rules PDF on page 49 in para 56, this is given as explained properly. Statement 2 says during joining time, DA will be based on admissible joining time pay. So for this you will have to refer fundamental rules given in Swami handbook, and in that we have an appendix with the name Central Civil Services Joining Time Rules. On page 759 in para 7 it has been mentioned that DA will be admissible. So this statement is also correct. Next statement says a government servant under suspension may be granted DA on the basis of pay drawn by him before being placed under suspension. So first of all, during suspension he will get subsistence allowance, and that is around half leave salary. So before he was placed under suspension, he would have been drawing full salary. So giving D on that does not sound appropriate. So for more clarification, you can refer to Swami's handbook in FR 53. This is given as incorrect. He cannot be given DA on the salary which he was drawing before suspension. Therefore, this statement is incorrect. Only statement 1 and 2 are right. Hence, the right answer is C. Let's move on to the next question. So question number 42 says, at places where no specific rates have been prescribed either by the Directorate of Transport of the concerned state or of the neighboring states, the admissible mileage allowance for journey performed in his car taxi shall be. So this is covered under part 2 of Swami's handbook on fundamental and supplementary rules. In that you can refer to supplementary rule number 46 on page 45. This has been given as 24 per kilometer when journey has been made by own car or taxi. I think it is 12 per kilometer if it is made in scooter or bike. So let's move on to the next question, 43. It is again from part 2 of Swami's compilation of fundamental and supplementary rules. Who among the following is the competent authority to allow mileage allowance to be calculated by a route other than the shortest or cheapest in case of a government servant while on tour? So for this, you can refer to supplementary rule number 34. This has been clarified through an audit instruction that head of department is the competent authority to choose other route for calculating mileage allowance. Hence option B is the right answer. Question number 44. The term controlled traveling is relevant in context of which of the following? So this is not a direct question. If you will go through definition of all these terms in TA rules handbook of Swami, you will find that conveyance allowance is the best fit because it is based on distance. It is drawn throughout the year, but still some control is there that slabs of kilometers have been given that if the traveling is from 100 to 200 kilometers, such a fixed amount of conveyance allowance will be given. If traveling is between the range of 200 to 400 kilometers, some more amount will be given, and like that. In case of permanent traveling allowance, a fixed component is given irrespective of distance. And option C, actual cost of traveling, it is based on a journey. In individual case, the actual cost will be calculated and that will be reimbursed or paid by the government. In case of D, mileage allowance, it is also given when own car or taxi is used to cover the cost of transportation based on the route. So let's move to the next question, 45. The time limit for submission of claims for traveling allowance on retirement from date succeeding the date of completion of the journey is. So in this case it is 180 days. You can refer to Department of Expenditures OM dated 15th June 2021. On page number 1 in para 3 this has been defined. Let me open this OM. So we have the OM on the right side of the screen. It is issued by Department of Expenditure. In para 3 it is given that 100 days will be given, not 60 days. The time limit has been revised, so UPSC has asked this question to test the awareness of the current changes in rule position. So if your candidate is up to date with the changes in the rule position, he will be able to choose the right answer. Some candidates will choose 60 days, which was the old time limit, and they will lose the marks. So 100 days is the right answer. Let's move on to next question, which is on pension. So now we'll be getting questions on pension rules. So we should open the PDF on pension to refer to the actual text of the question. So I have opened the PDF on pension rules on the right hand side. So let's discuss question number 46. Consider the following details of a government servant who retired before attaining the age of normal superannuation and has opted for commutation of his monthly pension. So we have given some data like monthly pension, age on next birthday, commutation factor, percentage of pension opted for commutation. So if you will see the pension rules, the commuted value of pension is a formula. So the formula goes like this: percentage of pension commuted, so this is 40%, amount of monthly pension, this is here, commutation factor is also given here, and age on next birthday, that we don't need because we have commutation factor, and then we have 12 as a multiplication factor. So when we'll put all the values here in the formula and calculate, we'll get this as the answer, and if we round it off, right option will be answer will be on B, 14,16,083 rupees. So in this manner you can solve this question. Let's move on to the next question, 47. Which of the following government dues cannot be recovered from DNS relief of a pensioner? So for this question, we have to refer to page number 48 of pension rules. In 48, in para 8, it is given that if after adjustment from withheld amount of gratuity, or if no amount of gratuity was withheld, any amount on account of license fee or damages or dues on account of electricity, water or PNG charges remaining unpaid may be ordered by the Directorate of East to be recovered from the DNS relief without the consent of the pensioner, and in such case no DNS relief shall be disbursed until full recovery of such dues has been made. So license fees is the only component which has been given in the rules which can be recovered from the DNS relief of a pensioner. I'm talking about these four options. So question is asking which of the following cannot be recovered. So only two can be recovered, hence the right answer is 1, 3 and 4, which cannot be recovered from the DNS relief of a pensioner. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 48. Under which of the following circumstances the appropriate appointing authority may withhold permission to government servant who seeks to retire on completion of 20 years of qualifying service? So for that we have to refer to page 24. On page number 24, if you go to sub para 3 here, so if you read all these sub paras 3.1, 3.2 and 3.3, all these statements given in the question are correct, hence the right answer is option D, 1, 2 and 3. Next question is 49. Simplification of procedure for the verification of service to preclude and cut down the delays in payment of retirement benefits to government servants involves how much duration of service verification or the interval of service verification? Should it be done quarterly, half yearly, annually or biannually? So for that, you have to refer to DOPT's OM dated 30th September 2015. In para 4.1, it has been suggested, it is not a rule, but it has been suggested that to cut down delays in the payment of retirement benefits, annual service verification should be done. If let me open this OM and show it to you. So here we have the OM issued by the Ministry of Personnel. In para 4 on page number 2, it is suggested that the administrative authorities should do annual service verification to cut down the delays. Hence the right answer is option C. Next question is 50. Again on pension. Which of the following shall form part or parts of emoluments in the context of CCS pension rules 2021? So again it's a very basic question. पेंशन के केस के लिए कौन सी पेज emoluments में काउंट की जाती हैं? So for that we have to refer to page number 14 where emoluments has been described. Let me open the CCS pension rules again. So here we are at page 14 of the CCS pension rules. So statement 1 of the question says that pay drawn by a government servant while in deputation to a state government. So as per subpara 7 here, it is mentioned that pay drawn by a government servant while on deputation to a state government or while on foreign service shall not be treated as emoluments. Hence, statement 1 is incorrect. Statement 2 says pay drawn by a government servant while on foreign service. So this is given here itself in para 7 along with first option. So this is also incorrect. Statement 3 says pay drawn by a government servant while on deputation to an ex-cadet post in other department of the government. So in subpara 6, it is given that this will be treated as emoluments. If a government servant is on deputation to an ex-cadet post, the pay drawn by him on deputation will be part of emolument. So option 3 is the right option, hence the right answer is B. Next question. The minimum amount of family pension admissible to the family of a deceased government servant shall not be less than how much? So basically the minimum basic pay of a government servant is 18,000 as per 7th pay commission, and pension is 50% of that amount, so which is 9,000 plus dearness relief, which replaces dearness allowance given to in-service government employees. But again, to clarify, I'll refer to page 29 of pension rules where family pension has been described in para 50. As per subpara 2A1, it is given that amount of family pension shall be determined at uniformly to 30%, minimum 9,000 and maximum 75,000. So again 75,000 is half of 1,50,000, so which is 30% of, or you can say that 75,000 is 50% of the maximum basic pay, which is 2,50,000 given to cabinet secretary. So in that method, minimum and maximum has been defined. So let's move on to the next question. 52. To which of the following categories dearness relief on pension is payable? So this question is again on dearness relief. We have a lot of questions of dearness relief in this exam. On page 39, this has been discussed. The chapter number 9 on dearness relief. So it is granted to family pensioners as per sub rule 1. This is correct. Then persons drawing compassionate allowance, again this is correct, compassionate allowance and family pensioners. For service pensioners, you have to see the OMs issued by government in every 6 months where revised dates of dearness relief are released. In that you will find the word service pensioners, so this is also correct. And statement 4 says before re-employment under a state government, the pensioner holding a post classified as group A. So here it is given that dearness relief shall continue to be payable if to a pensioner re-employment if before such re-employment he was not holding a post classified as group A. So statement 4 is incorrect. Hence the right answer is 1, 2 and 3 only, which is option B. Even if you don't no option number, or if you don't know whether statement 3 is correct or incorrect, these three you can find from the CCS pension rules, and you can see that only one option has 1 and 2 under it, and if you eliminate option 4, you are left with only two options, and 1 and 2 are coming only in one option, which is B. Hence, even if you don't know all the statements and if you have prepared only the relevant source, which is CCS pension rules, you can solve this question. Let's move on to the next question, which is 53. For the purpose of fixation of pay in the re-employed post, the ignorable amount of pension is. So again, let's see page number 2. So this question has been actually covered in DOPT-OM dated 1st of May 2021. This is not part of pension rules, and again this is a change in rule position. If we see the OM on the right hand side on the page number 2, in para 5 it is given that the president is pleased to enhance the ignorable part of pension from 4,000 to 15,000. So this is a recent change made through an OM dated 1st of May 2021. So some students may mark this as the right answer who are not updated with the change in rule position, and those who have read the new rule position will mark 15,000 as the right answer. Hence the right answer is option D. Let's move on to the next question. Pension rules again. जनरली जिस एक टॉपिक से एक क्वेश्चन पूछे आते हैं वो सीक्वेंस में होते हैं, एक आध क्वेश्चन कहीं और आता है पेपर में, बट सीक्वेंस मेंटेन रहता है. पहले आपके एमओपी आएगा, देन यू विल गेट फंडामेंटल रूल्स, सप्लीमेंट्री रूल्स. सेट एक ऐसा होता है, सेट बी सी डी में थोड़ा शफल हो सकता है, बट सीक्वेंस मेंटेन रहता है. फॉर एग्जांपल सेट बी फंडामेंटल रूल से स्टार्ट हो सकता है या फिर कंडक्ट रूल से स्टार्ट हो सकता है, बट कंडक्ट रूल्स के क्वेश्चन सब एक साथ आएंगे. तो दिस इज़ ऑल्सो ईजी फॉर द स्टूडेंट्स की एक ही टॉपिक के क्वेश्चंस करने से थोड़ा स्विच करना ईजी हो जाता है, माइंड में स्विच करना नहीं पड़ता है, एक ही टॉपिक पे आप स्टिक रहते हैं. लेट्स गो ऑन टू डिस्कस नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. In terms of CCS pension rules 2021, every head of department is required to prepare a list by 15th day of every month of all the government servants who are due to retire from that date within the next how many months. So again I have to open the PDF of pension rules. So we have to go to page 40 of the PDF. So in chapter 10, in para 54(1), it is given that HOD shall prepare the list of GS who are due to retire within the next 15 months of that date. So right answer is option C. Next question. In terms of provisions of CCS pension rules regarding timely payment of retirement benefits to the retiring employees, how many months prior to his retirement should a government servant submit to his head of office the forms for payment of retirement benefits? हर चीज़ की एक टाइम लिमिट फिक्स की गई है. 42 पेज नंबर पे पैरा 2A में 6 months इज द टाइम लिमिट. 6 महीने से एटलीस्ट 6 महीने पहले ये सारे फॉर्म सबमिट करने होंगे हेड ऑफ ऑफिस को टू क्लेम द रिटायरमेंट बेनिफिट्स. Hence option C is the right answer. You can read the detail later in pension rules. Next question is 56. On entering the government service, a government servant is required to give details of his family or to the head of office in which format? So on page 37, if you see, form 4 is the right form in which government servant has to give details of his family. Form 2 is a checklist for processing a request of pensioners for permission to accept commercial employment after retirement. Form 5 is for intimation regarding marriage or birth of a child after retirement. Then Form 7 is a checklist for processing requests of pensioners for permission to accept commercial employment after retirement. So these are the relevant forms. क्वेश्चन में पूछा है वो है फॉर्म 4. So let's move on to next question. Question 57 says amount equivalent to 12 times of emoluments is payable as death gratuity in the case of death of a GS while in service after completion of qualifying service of how many years. तो क्वेश्चन थोड़ा सा रिवर्स डायरेक्शन में पूछा है. जनरली क्वालिफाइंग सर्विस बताई जाती है और डेथ ग्रेजुटी का अमाउंट पूछा जाता है. सो फॉर दैट विल गो टू पेज 26. इन दिस टेबल इट इज़ गिवन दैट 5 years or more but less than 11 years of service will fetch you a death gratuity of 12 times of emoluments. Hence right answer is B. Let's move on to the next question. Question 58 says consider the following statements regarding family pension. Statement 1 says where a government servant dies after completion of 1 year of continuous service, his family shall be entitled to a family pension. 1 साल की सर्विस पूरी करने के बाद उसकी डेथ हो जाती है तो क्या फैमिली को फैमिली पेंशन मिलेगी. दिस हैज़ बीन आंसर्ड इन पेज 29 एंड पैरा 50 विच इज़ रिलेटेड टू फैमिली पेंशन. तो पहला क्राइटेरिया ये कि आफ्टर कंप्लीशन ऑफ 1 year ऑफ कंटिन्यूस सर्विस. सो दिस इज़ ट्रू. Statement 2 says the amount of family pension shall be subject to a maximum of 1.25 lakhs per month initially for a period of 10 years if the government servant dies while in service. So हमने ये भी देखा था कि मिनिमम मैक्सिमम लिमिट क्या है. पहले वाले क्वेश्चन में शायद मिनिमम लिमिट पूछी गई थी फैमिली पेंशन की एंड आई एक्सप्लेन्ड मिनिमम एंड मैक्सिमम बोथ. 1.25 is 30% of the maximum basic pay which is 2.25 lakhs. Hence this is the maximum of family pension. But here in this case a question is asking that a government servant dies while in service. To deal with this case we have to refer to subpara 2 of para 2 and उसके अकॉर्डिंग जब डेथ होती है सर्विस में तो 50% ऑफ पे एंड अमाउंट विल बी गिवन फॉर अ पीरियड ऑफ 10 years. सो अगेन 2.5 लाख जो होती है वो मैक्सिमम बेसिक पे होती है जो कैबिनेट सेक्रेटरी को दी जाती है. तो उसका 50% इज 1.25 lakhs and that will be the family pension if a GS dies while in service. So this is also correct. Next statement says a family pensioner aged 84 years shall be entitled to additional family pension at 30% of the basic pension. So for that we have to refer to page 30 para 53. In this a table has been given for additional family pension. So अगर 80 से 85 years की एज होती है फैमिली पेंशनर की तो 20% ऑफ फैमिली पेंशनर दी जाती है एडिशनल पेंशन के लिए. सो 20% इज़ द राइट आंसर. दिस स्टेटमेंट इज़ इनकरेक्ट. तो आंसर इज 1 and 2 only which is A. Let's move on to next question which is 59. Pension or gratuity of a pensioner may be withheld or withdrawn if he is found guilty of which of the following practices. So ऐसा नहीं है कि पेंशन आपको लगातार मिलती रहेगी इरिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ योर कंडक्ट. फ्यूचर गुड कंडक्ट इज necessary condition. On page 6 in para 3 it is given that so here it's given that action under sub rule 1 may be taken if the pensioner is found guilty of corrupt practices. So what is sub rule 1? Let's see the sub rule 1. Sub rule 1 says president reserves to himself the right to withhold a pension or gratuity. So corrupt practices अगर सर्विस के दौरान मिलती हैं तो pension can be withheld or withdrawn. Let's see next statement. I think ये सारे जुड़े हुए ही हैं एक साथ. Next statement says any misconduct in relation to the performance of official duty. This is also true as per the para 2 of para 3. Any misconduct whether resulting in pecuniary loss to the government or otherwise. So this is also true. अगर ये तीनों conditions में से कोई भी होती है तो pension withheld या withdrawn की जा सकती है and president has a right to do that. So all the three options are correct. Hence the right answer is option D. Let's move on to the next and final question of this video, which is 60. Who among the following has the powers to withhold a pension in the case of a pensioner who retired from a post for which an authority subordinate to the president is the appointing authority? थोड़ा सा पढ़ने में आपको इशू हो रहा होगा, टर्म्स ज़्यादा हैं इसमें. एक ही वर्ड आपका है withhold a pension, retired from a post for which an authority subordinate to the president is the appointing authority. So ये डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ पेंशन वेलफेयर की नोटिफिकेशन में क्लेरिफाई किया गया था. 7 अक्टूबर 2022 का जो नोटिफिकेशन है उसको ओपन कर लेते हैं. सो हेयर वी हैव दिस नोटिफिकेशन विद अस, issued by Ministry of Personnel. So as per subpara 2, the secretary of the administrative ministerial department in the case of pensioner who retired from the post for which an authority is subordinate to the president is the appointing authority. उनके केस में सेक्रेटरी के पास पावर होगी टू withhold a pension